Love is light that's within me, shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, yeah. Inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Love is light that's within me, shine to the whole world, whole world.
Good evening.
Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, yeah. Inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright.
Hello.
Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Love is light that's within me, shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside.
Hello, Nobs. Shodan, I see you. Olasukomiso, I see you. Thanks for joining. I hope we are good. Alice, welcome. Oh, thank you, Funcho. How are you? How is my dear wife and the children? I hope they're good.
The promise, the future.
Oh, I hope we're not going to fight today. Thank you for the gift. Funcho, I hope you're going to stay to chip in one or two for us today. Please do stay. I'd really love to hear from you. I know. I always see you come and then you dash off. Let's talk about this today. So at least I know you have one or two things you can share with us. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the box shortly. Hello everyone. Funcho, do me a favor. Click down on your screen and all those names that pops up, just send to all of your friends watching Liverpool at the moment. Oh, would have loved to stay. Oh, there's a match. Oh, you're Liverpool. I have one Liverpool in my house. You know what? I've got 4 boys, you know. All of them different. Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, and me, I'm Arsenal. My husband is referee, so that when matches are going on, we will not finish each other in the house. So he had to be the referee, so he doesn't have a team he's supporting. I know, very funny. I hope you enjoy your match. I hope you guys win. Fingers crossed. I know, football season. Guys, Oluwaseun 2302, I see you. Thanks for joining. Please help send this live. Please help send it to your friends. Let them be part of our marriage talk today. It's very crucial for those in marriage, those aspiring to get married, those in a relationship, you know, all sorts. Let us come and talk about these things because they affect our marriages. And like I always say, sometimes we shy away from talking about these things. So you're welcome to Inside. It's a safe space where we can talk heart to heart, so we can enjoy our marriage relationship. So yeah, I just wait for a couple of more minutes for other people to join in. I know some may just be finishing work and driving home. Some might just even be resuming work. I don't know. Happy Thursday to you.
Inside.
Social help share to your friends, please. And I see you as well.
Inside. and make you feel alright.
Doubt, I see. Thanks for joining. I see you.
The promise, the future, and life. Let the light that's within me shine to the whole world.
Holy Ajibola, I see you. Thanks for joining. It's amazing. Thank you for joining. Odi, I see you. I'm gonna follow you right back after this. Trust me, I always find you. Inside, inside, all around me, yeah. Inside. Okay. Once again, I say good evening, good day, good happy Thursday, wherever you're joining me from. Welcome to Insight with FunmiRoyal. Today, the day the Lord has made, indeed, I am gonna rejoice and be glad in it. In fact, I've been rejoicing the moment I woke up. I've been rejoicing. So thank you guys for joining in. Please, like I say, do me a big favor. Click down on your screen and send to all of your friends. Let them be part of our talk, our discussion today. It's very crucial if you're in a marriage relationship, or if you're in a relationship and you're hoping to get married. These are things we need to not shy away from. Let us talk about it so we have a better understanding going into that marriage relationship. And if you're in a marriage relationship already, let's talk about this. I mean, even if it's a day's marriage, let us talk about this. Can love alone sustain a marriage? Can love alone sustain a marriage? That is the topic. You know, it won't fit the whole screen. It can only help me, let me type as much. So I want to believe this alone, you know, can love alone sustain a marriage relationship? I guess I have to be adding that as we go along. Leslie! Busy. Honestly, I really appreciate you being part of this community. I really appreciate you. I hope my missus is good and the children as well. Good. Imani, thanks for joining. PJSO, I see you. Thanks for joining. Functional EFL Cup. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Yeah. You too as well. Which team do you support? Leslie, please don't fall my hand right now. Which team are you supporting? Please don't tell me. Okay, I said the match is going on, but I'm still gonna, even if it's for me to give the talk today and you know, end the live, I think it'll be okay. And I always repost so that people can come. Wifey is in the kitchen tonight. Oh, she's the one on the timetable. Well, I hope it's something scrumptious so that we can, you know, have a lovely night whilst the matches are on. Leslie, did you answer me? What's your team? What team are you supporting? I've said to you, I mean, I'm Arsenal. I hope some people will not stone their screen tonight. Whether you like it or not, we belong to where we belong. Shavi, I see you. Abruk, I see you. Thanks for joining. Yes, Cherry, welcome. I'm going to go into the talk because the time is just going. Which team am I supporting? Please let me not cause World War III. Why now? Everybody's entitled to supporting any team. Like I've said my own loud and clear, I'm proud to be Arsenal, whether they win or lose. Me, I'm chaff for Gunners all the time. Thank you, Cherry. I see you. Eunice, thanks for joining. Okay, well, if you don't feel like sharing, it's fine. Maybe you type it, you know, DM me so that I'm just curious now that you don't want to share, so that we don't cause World War IV even. Yeah, it's fine. So guys, let's go into this talk today. Can love alone sustain a marriage? What's your take on this? I really want to hear from us. Like I wish, oh my God, I wanted to say next month. This is February. For me in, what's the day is it? In 12 days time, it's going to be my 26th wedding anniversary, guys. And I can tell you what I can tell you from my own relationship. My fellow Gunner, Arsenal for life. Hey! You're talking, now you're speaking my language. In fact, I'm going to find some title to give you. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, what was I even saying? Yeah, 26 years in marriage, and boy oh boy, I can write a book now on marriage, I can tell you that. So Anyways, I'm here to share my experiences where necessary, and we share real life experiences so that people can get the message. And the reason why we always come here to talk about this kind of topics is so that we can enjoy our marriage relationship. In case there's some things missing inside, we'll talk about it and we'll make amends, because why? We want to enjoy our marriages. So I'm going to go straight into the talk, and then I'll bring us up. You can send an invite when the time is right, and then we'll talk some more about this. Share your experiences, share your submissions. Congratulations, we salute you and champion. Yes, so thank God, it's God helping us, I even got an early gift, but I was still sharing my voice like, hey, I got early gift. I'm still thinking what I'm going to do, but don't worry. I think I have an idea, but it's all good. So, and Valentine too is round the corner. It's just, I remembered when we actually got married. We did the engagement on the 15th. Okay, let me reverse back. He proposed on Valentine's Day, and the year after we got married. We did the engagement on the 15th of February and the wedding proper 18th of February. My God, the rest they say is history. Okay, now let's be serious. Let's go into the talk today. Otherwise, we can gist all night. Celine, I see you. Shade Obeson, thank you. Obisheson, oh my God, I'm saying double on this thing now. Obisheson, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to mispronounce your name. Thanks for joining. Please click down and send to all your friends to be part of this talk. God is great all the time. Yes, welcome. Send to your friends, and as you're listening, please help me. If you like what you're hearing, even if you don't like it, at least for the fact that you're here, please help me tap. Let's like this live so that other people can join. I hear that on TikTok, the more you tap and like, the more you bring other people. And we're here to help each other. I want to be my brother's keeper. I want to be my sister's keeper. That's why I'm on this assignment, and, God helping us all. So let's kind of introduce the topic. Can love alone sustain a marriage? You and I know that marriage is one of the most significant and sacred commitments two people can make to one another. It is often built on the foundation of love, hence love, which is a very powerful and very, very powerful thing that brings two individuals together. However, while love is essential, the question now arises, can love alone sustain a marriage? Food for thought. Think about it for a minute. Many people enter marriage believing that love is enough to overcome any challenge. I think once upon a time I used to think that, but experiences of life as you go along, as you journey along in the institution of marriage will teach you one or two things, many things, thousands of things, However, as life unfolds, they realize that a successful and lasting marriage, it requires more than just emotions. So in our discussion, in our talk today, we will explore the role of love in a marriage and what else is needed for sustainability. And of course, practical ways couple can build a strong and fulfilling relationship. Guys, like I say, no matter how many years I said I've been married, I am not saying, oh, this is the best way or this is the way, but that's how we're talking about it. We'll rub off on one another. I bring my experience, you bring your experience. We'll take one or two things that we feel will benefit us. So I'm not standing as, oh, my marriage is perfect, therefore sort yours. No, please do not get this wrong at all. So let us understand love in a marriage. I'm trying to break it down so we can have a better understanding. And if you're just joining, welcome to Insight with FunmiRoyal. The topic is, can love alone sustain a marriage relationship? So let's understand love in a marriage. Love in a marriage can be classified into different types, and each one plays a very unique role. If you talk about romantic love, which is known as eros, it's a passionate attraction and deep emotional connection between spouses. That's why you have to be careful. If you're not ready to get married to that man, to that woman, do not entangle yourself romantically with them. It's not really safe, and because when you enter marriage, start comparing this person to that. it's even for your own good, I'm telling you. Then another kind of love in marriage we can look at is compassionate love. And this one is also called philia. Philia, it's a friendship kind of love. It's a companionship and deep mutual respect that is shared between a husband and wife. Yes, a husband and wife, a man and a woman, as we are talking about Bin Laden. Oh my God, I don't think I should pronounce that out. Why would you use that name? I'm sorry, but the controversy behind that name. I've even pronounced it now before TikTok will go and shut me down, thinking it's something else we're doing here. But all the same, I respect you joining us tonight. Thank you for joining. And guys, the last one I'm going to talk, there's so many types, but because of time, I just limit it to these three kind of love that is needed in a marriage relationship. We're trying to understand love in a marriage. So the unconditional love, maybe I should have even started with this, is called the agape love. Yes, between husband and wife. It means selfless love, sacrificial love that seeks the best for one's spouse. When we're talking about unconditional love, I mean, who else would you give that to if not your spouse? So let's be mindful, what kind of love. Are we giving selfish love? Are we giving conditional love to our spouses? Let's be mindful that we are not engaging in this. So while love is the foundation of marriage, mind you, foundation of marriage, because people marry for different reasons. I want to believe the most popular is love. People can marry somebody because they have money, so they don't love them, they just want their money. I know that, but what we're focusing on today is, can that love alone, can it sustain that marriage relationship? So we know love is a foundation of marriage. It must be supported by other essential elements to keep the relationship strong and lasting. Otherwise, there will be problem. As Kiki would say, problem. There will be problem. So why love alone is not enough? Like I say, I'm sharing my views. That's why I always bring us into the box to share our own views. No right or wrong answer. However, we are careful to be mindful of what we're sharing out there, because not everybody may have the opportunity to come into the box and they're listening and they may have issues in this area. So we're careful what we're sharing with other people as well. So we keep it all positive, please. Why love alone is not enough. Although love is essential, like I said, and it's very crucial in marriage, it is not the sole factor that sustains a lifelong commitment. So I'm going to mention some reasons why love alone is not enough. Catherine, thanks for joining us. Love can change over time. Guys, like I said, you might think, oh, for me, no, I don't think so. Well, here are my views, and come share your views after. Feelings of love fluctuate due to life's ups and downs. Sometimes spouses would hurt each other and the love will fly out, no more butterflies in their bellies. And these things can happen maybe once, twice, or 3 times in a marriage lifetime. I don't know. Check your marriage. Check the love that you had when you got married. Check the progression over the years. Some may say, oh, it's grown. Well done, good. Some may say, oh, we lost it, we came back. Or we lost it, it came back, we lost it, it came back. Or some will say, well, so far so good, we're still in there. So it depends. But love can change over time. That's what I'm trying to drive home at. Initial romantic love, that infatuations or whatever you want to call it, sometimes fades and needs to be nurtured over time. Erica, you're welcome. So without effort, love can weaken in the face of distress, in the face of routine and personal differences. Over time, you're growing, your spouse is growing, and then if you're not careful, you start seeing on different pages. So that's why you have to put effort into that love to still make sure it's growing, in the same direction. Ty damsel, I see you. Another reason, or another point I want to make again is love cannot replace commitment. You say, oh, I love you, but you're not committed. Hello, how does that work? Real J, I see you. Thanks for joining. So love cannot replace commitment, meaning love alone is not enough. That is my take. I'm going to still expand it some more. Marriage requires a firm decision to stay together despite challenges. I remembered one of the discussions me and my husband we had before getting married is he said it outright and I said, look, I'm from a broken home. You're from a broken home. I don't want a broken home. I've seen that. I don't like it. He said, oh, don't begin to tell me the woes in such a marriage relationship. Good evening, Erica. I hope you're good. Thanks for joining us today. Please help send this live to all your friends. Click down. Names will pop up and just press send to them. As many that can join might be able to join. And we said we don't want a broken home. So it's always a watchword for us. That means we have to be committed, whatever it takes, whether by hook or by crook, as they say, this thing got to work. It got to work, you know. I can't imagine. It was when I was 9 years old, my parents separated. And I said, at 9, this is when I'm supposed to be enjoying both parents, my mom pouring into me, my dad pouring into me, and then I'm going back and forth here. And, you know, I'm good, ma, thank you. And you, God bless you. Oh, thank you. I'm good. Yeah, it's been a long day, but we thank God we're here. The light property, the light property. I hope you will stay. Thank you for joining. But I'm happy. I'm always happy on Thursdays because what? Tomorrow is Friday. One more day of work and yeah, you can relax. So yeah, I'm good. Thank you. So love cannot replace commitment. We both said to ourselves, we have to be committed. Come rain, come shine, we will remember where we are coming from, that we don't want that kind of a life for us or for our children. My eldest is 25 and he's known mom and dad, he's 25 years. He's not been tossed to mom and tossed to dad. And I give God the glory because it is hard work. It takes commitment. It takes a lot, guys. And I'm sharing this from my own little life experience. Marriage requires a firm decision to stay together despite any challenge that may come your way. Whether by hook or by crook, like I said, we have to work it out. Commitment is what holds the marriage together when emotions waver. I may not be in love with you right now, but I'm committed to this relationship. That is my attitude. Oh, of course, my husband pisses me off and I piss him off as well. Yeah, we do that. And sometimes we're like, you know, hold your space, I hold my space. What is it? But we're still committed. Nobody has carried their luggage to say, okay, I'm going back to my father's house or I'm going. No. We will sort it out. Everybody have your space and then come back and sit down and we'll sort things out. So without commitment, couples may easily consider separation when difficulty arises. And that is the truth. Because if you're not committed, or maybe one party is even committed, there will be problem. Because one person is trying to fight for the marriage and the other party can't be bothered. So there's going to be challenges there. Again, I want to say that love alone does not resolve conflict. For the fact that I love you, oh, okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, Dory, no. And then you start bottling things up. Alaji Lanre, I see you. Thanks for joining. Tessie Y, I see you. Thanks for joining. Love alone does not resolve conflicts. Disagreements are inevitable in marriage. I can't begin to tell you how many times me and hubby we've disagreement. Hey, we will disagree to agree to disagree to agree, as they say. Good evening, Wendy Love. How are you? I hope you're good. Thanks for joining us on Inside. Please share this live to your friends, especially those in relationships, those in marriage relationship. Let them be part of our talk today. Love alone does not resolve conflict. Healthy conflict resolution requires communication. It requires patience. It requires mutual understanding. Look at all these things I'm mentioning. It has nothing to do with love. In fact, some people may not even love each other, but they communicate well. They have patience with one another and they have mutual respect for one another, but they don't love each other. You can imagine some crazy relationships out there. But all in all, let's go further. Love without problem-solving skills can lead to frustration and resentment. Some people, even in their profession, they solve problems all the time. But when it comes to their marriage, they don't have a clue. Yeah, they don't have a clue. And I don't know, there should be there should be what do we call transference of skills. But I don't know if that will work. What you do in your field, how you solve problems, Maybe you should transfer that skills to solving a problem at home. Apo peace, a capo peace. Oh, I see you. Thanks for joining. So you need problem solving skills alongside love in that marriage relationship. Again, I want to say love does not automatically build trust. The fact that I love you and you keep doing stuff that gets me suspicious of you, love and trust, love does not automatically build trust. Trust is built over time, the things you do. Trust is built consistently with honesty, with integrity, with reliability. If I can rely on you, tendency is I will trust you. If I see you're a person of integrity, I might just trust you. And if you're so honest, oh, I will trust you. But if I see you're dishonest, do you even have integrity? Because I will question that. And then reliability, I might just question that. Sister Benedict, thanks for joining. So all of these things we need to pay attention to. Love is not the only thing. That's what I'm trying to say in essence. Oh, thank you, Wendy, for the heart me. Thank you. Betrayal or dishonesty rather, can weaken love if trust is broken. You've been married for years and years. Maybe after 10 years, you so trust your spouse to the point that, you defended that, this and that. And they now broke the trust. Maybe infidelity or financial mismanagement or something. Once that trust is broken for whatever reason, guys, it's so hard to rebuild. I'm telling you, especially if your spouse is not an easily forgiven person. Our fault, I see you. It's problem in that marriage. A marriage without trust becomes unstable, no matter how much love exists in there. Because these things, they work hand in hand. And if you look, there's so many things, and love is the big one. You break this, okay. You break the second one, you break the third, you break this. Look, you're separate if care is not taken. So we have to be intentional and work things out. If you break the first one, before it gets to the second one, quickly mend that so that this does not happen. I don't know how many of you can see my hand. I don't know what other examples to give. I don't know where that came from, but you get my gist anyways. So no matter how much love exists in that marriage, without trust, it is impossible to have a stable marriage, because you're not going to rely on your spouse if you can't trust them. You're not going to think they are honest people if you cannot trust them. Again, I must say here, love cannot replace effort and hard work. Guys, I always say, marriage is not for lily-livered men and women. It is not for boys and girls. It is for a mature man and mature woman. Because if you don't have what it takes, you will break that home before you build it. You have to be mindful. Love cannot replace effort or hard work that you need to put into that marriage relationship. You say, for me, no, I love my spouse. That's all it takes. Really? Really? Please, I want you to come into the box and explain to me if that is your take. Love does not cook meals. It does not pay bills. It does not raise children, well, at least by itself, or manage responsibilities. All of these things you have to do. If I say, I love my husband, that should be enough. You fill you up now. Must I cook? You should be full. Zainab, I see you. So be mindful. Couples must work together to build a stable home, contribute financially, and support each other emotionally, spiritually, financially, in all areas of life, in love, in understanding, in patience, in everything you can imagine. Imagine this is the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Why not go all out? As in positively, not all out negatively, because that's why we're having divorce here and there. Go all out positively. Explore with your spouse. Discover with your spouse. Grow with your spouse. Fight with your spouse. Be romantically involved with your spouse. Chase your spouse. Woo your spouse. What is it? Please borrow me this English. Whatever you want to do, do with your spouse. Discover new things with your spouse. Go on trips with your spouse. You need to put in the effort so you can have that loving relationship that encompasses all of the other things needed. Without effort, a loving relationship can become strained due to neglect and unmet expectations. I hope to trust my husband. I hope to be patient with him. I hope to be more tolerant with him and all of that. It takes effort. Do I want to be tolerant? No, I don't like nonsense, so to say. You don't like nonsense. You will love nonsense when you get married. Because tendency is your spouse may just bring nonsense. Is that going to be the end of the marriage? Like I said, we are still growing. We're still living life. We're still discovering ourselves. Some habits will die. Some will pick up. Some your spouse will like. Some your spouse will not like. This is reality of being in that marriage relationship. So there's so many things we need to talk about, guys. So many. So another aspect I want to look at is what else is needed to sustain a marriage. Guys, I hope you're taking notes because you're going to come and tell us some more. I can't cover it all, like I said. Hostess is dropping gems. Hey, well, thank you. Thank you for that. I know I'm not talking to myself. People are listening. So thank you for that engagement. What else is needed to sustain a marriage? For a marriage to thrive, people, love must be accompanied by several key elements. So many, I've been mentioning quite a number, but we'll dive deep into it again. Commitment and loyalty. You have to be committed. And guys, sometimes why we have divorces, along the line, people are committed, husband and wives are committed, and somewhere along the line, they stop the commitment. Whether it is regarding trust, integrity, all those things. They stop being committed to that marriage. And then all of a sudden, they're like two strangers. And then, the best thing is, let's go our ways, you go your way. Or you can't say eye to eye about something that's just going on years and years. And it's like, this thing might just be the end of us. And you just give up. Commitment and loyalty. Whether it's good, whether it's not good, whether it's rosy, whether it's not rosy, you have to be committed. The moment you say, I do, you will do for life. That is what it means. Because this is God's intention for marriage. For husbands and wives to grow old together in love, in trust, in commitment, in loyalty to one another. Ephron, I see you. Biggest killer of marriage is laziness. I know. Especially when it's one-sided. And then the other party wants to talk about the spouse being lazy. And then, all the defense arrows will start pew, pew, pew. What do you mean I'm lazy? And then start pointing. You're not hearing what your spouse is saying. There's so many. Yeah, we're going to talk more about it. Nya Kalo, I see you. Thanks for joining. So, choosing to be faithful and loyal even when difficulties arise. That is the test of your love for one another. Things will come to test your faithfulness, your loyalty. Can you stand to be faithful to your spouse? Can you stand to be loyal to your spouse no matter what is enticing you out there? It takes a lot. It takes a lot, and you have to be persons of integrity to be in that marriage relationship and not breaking those vows you promised one another. Again, effective communication. What else is needed in a marriage or to sustain a marriage is what I'm talking about now, in case you're just joining. You need effective communication. Look, if you guys notice, every Thursday, there is no how this effective communication will not come as a solution to whatever topic we are talking about. Love alone cannot sustain a marriage. You need effective communication, not just communication. Because people can sit down and talk, and at the end of the day, nothing is resolved. Effective, as in, by the time you finish talking, both of you will say, wow, we've come to this conclusion. This is the next step we're taking. At least there's a headway when you finish that communication with your spouse. A deep commitment of staying together through all of life season. Talk about it. My goodness, I can't believe you did this to me. Talk about it instead of bottling it up and then you're reacting. Anything they do, you know, talk about it. Whether they're ready to hear you or not, you still talk about it. At least when they hear and they don't respond or they shout, they're defensive, they will go back and self-reflect on what you have said. Open and honest conversations to express your feelings, your needs, your concerns. Thank you so much, Mila, for the heart me. Active listening, not just listening. Active listening. What exactly is my spouse saying? Not what I'm assuming they are saying. That means you're not actively listening. My spouse just said, I need to go to the market. Oh, it's going to rain. As simple as that is, she wants to go to the market, it's going to rain. What do you think she means? You say, oh, I'm just too tired. You're a lazy man. That's what you've heard in that statement. Hello, you're just looking for trouble now. Hear your spouse for what they are saying. I know of many relationships that this is a big problem. Assumptions. Even when your spouse is speaking verbatim, you are listening to the assumptions in your mind and it's affecting your communication because they're saying A and you're responding to B and they're wondering, where did you hear that? I never said that. I said A, but all you're hearing is B. That means you're not participating actively in that conversation and there will be problems. Active listening to understand each other's perspective, especially maybe there's a disagreement. You have your views, your spouse, they have their views. That's why you need to talk effectively to come to one view so that you can put action to whatever it is you have to do. Because if the the wife is this way, the husband is that way, how on earth are you going to build together? It's going to be a problem. Aisha, I see you. Again, resolving conflict through peaceful discussion rather than arguments. Guys, if you're listening to me right now and you're in that relationship, that married relationship, please make it a point of duty to yourself, first off, that you know from today on, I'm going to actively listen to my spouse. And if I don't understand what they're saying, I would ask clarifying questions. Because you know how your mind operates. It goes at that tangent. You will say, oh, my dear, is this what I think you're trying to say to me? Try to put it in your own words. And your spouse will respond, oh, no, that's not what I mean. This is what I mean. Effective communication. It brings peace in that discussion rather than arguments. Again, mutual respect is what is needed alongside love in that marriage. Valuing each other's opinion, your dreams, and individuality. This is another big problem. I married you as a nurse. Now you're telling me you want to be an actor or actress or whatever. Who says they cannot aspire? You don't know the totality of their individuality. You don't know. Don't be the spouse that'll say, oh, over your dead body, would you go and do this? I'm just using that as an example. Or maybe 10 years into the marriage, your spouse feels the need to go and study to become a doctor. And you'll be like, you know what it entails? What the first thing that'll come out of your mouth is negative. How are you supporting your spouse in their aspirations, in their goals? Even if you think this thing they want to do is harmful, how do you communicate it to them? Kiang, I see you. Thanks for joining. Imani, welcome. Mutual respect. It's not meant to be one-sided. Don't say, oh, men like respect. You know, these talks you hear all over the place. Who says women don't like respect? Oh, so it's women that love disrespect. Come on, guys, let's be real. It has to be mutual. Mutual respect has nothing to do with love. That's what I'm saying, that alongside love, there's so many other things that is needed. Mutual respect is another one. Valuing each other's opinions, each other's dreams, like I said, each other's individuality. Let your spouse be themselves. Not because they're your spouse now, you will have the dream for them. You have the goals for them. They can't pursue anything of their own. There will be problem in that, especially when you love two different things or different things. Where does that leave your spouse? Yuri, Verisimo, I see you. Thanks for joining. Please help share this live to your friends. Avoiding disrespectful words and actions that can damage self-esteem. We need to stay away from that. You can't say you love this woman and you don't respect her. You love this man and you don't respect him. It would it would bring chaos. In fact, love will be thrown right out and be like, exactly what are you talking about? You're always disrespecting me, and yet you say you love me. If you love someone truly, there shouldn't be disrespect. Even when you're angry, that's why we need discipline. Apart from commitment, we need discipline in our marriage relationships. We need it. If you're not really a disciplined person, I don't know how you can last in that marriage, except you've married an angel who will put up with everything, you know. Again, shared values and goals alongside love. So in that marriage, in order for it to be sustained, you have to share values and goals. Otherwise, you'll be living two separate worlds in that relationship. So a common vision for life, for your family, and for the future as well, for your future aspirations. Both of you can sit down. Oh, my dear, what are your goals? Maybe the next 2 years or whatever. What are you thinking? What are your goals? What do you want to achieve? And then you say what it is, and you ask your spouse, do they say what it is? Oh, I see. You know, I've been thinking something similar. Oh, that's good. That's what you want to achieve. Yeah. Okay, for us as a family, don't you think let's plan to maybe save up and get a house in all this rent we're paying? Come and have the same values, the same goals as a family. And then you can plan for your future as a family aside your individual goals and aspiration. And when individuals come with their own goals and aspirations, do not make it sound like it's nothing. What you're planning does not include this family. There's family planning and there's individual planning as well. Otherwise, that individual will just feel useless in that family. So we need to support, share values, goals with one another, and don't just assume your spouse, you're doing something, your spouse should know what you're doing. After all, you're doing this so you can better life, so that family to talk about it. Apples B, thanks for joining. Pastor Jabando, I see you. God bless you. Thanks for joining. Again, what is needed to sustain that marriage? Forgiveness and grace. Forgiveness and grace. Understanding that mistakes will happen. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I always say Jesus is my secret. Don't worry. Next year, by the grace of God, is a big one. God sparing my life. Big one. Oh, which big one now? You go and think about it. Well, I don't know. I'm not letting anything out. Anyways, forgiveness and grace is also needed to sustain love in that marriage. So understanding that mistakes will happen and choose to forgive. You have to, you see your spouse, you have to choose to forgive. Guys, there's always a thin line, like I say. I am not addressing domestic violence here or domestic abuse. That's not what I'm talking about. But other than that, a healthy relationship is what we're looking at. You should be able to forgive your spouse when they offend you. Sometimes it's grievous, such as infidelity. Okay, if you don't forgive, what else? You go your separate ways and then they carry on. But if you can learn to forgive, I bet your spouse will even respect you some more and behave when they're outside. Forgiveness and marriage, I'm telling you, it's very crucial. Have an open heart to forgive this one person. Make up your mind to say, you know what, everybody can offend you. You don't. But this one person, no matter what they do, you will forgive them. Make up your mind that your spouse, no matter what they do, you can do shakara. Shakara. You can, what's it? Please help me look for the English of shakara. You can pretend like you're upset or whatever, but you know eventually you have to come and forgive them so you can carry on building that relationship. Thank you so much. Thank you for liking the live. Letting go of past hurts instead of holding grudges. And I want to pause here for a second. You know, sometimes we take each other for granted. Your spouse has really tried forgiving you. They've tried and they said, okay, and they want to let go of that past hurt. They don't want to hold grudges. But then you go back again and do the same thing, maybe years later. What do you think is going to trigger for your spouse? Past hurts. Of course, they're human. You've done the same thing maybe years after. It will trigger them to remember the past hurt. Oh, thank you so much, Leslie, for that heart. Oh, a mustache. Hey, maybe if I were a man, I'll be more handsome. Maybe. Don't mind. So, don't do something that will trigger your spouse of your past wrongs. That's why we need to be intentional how we treat one another. I cannot overemphasize this. We're human. Sometimes I look at us like robots. We have memories. And sometimes if you put on your computer, you go back to archives of past documents and things. It's there, except you deleted it completely. Even I bet hackers can still find a way to log in and find these documents, even if you think you've deleted them. That's how we operate sometimes. Don't do something that will trigger your spouse to start thinking of how you hurt them in the past. Then they'll look at you as an unserious person, someone who is not committed, someone who has no integrity. How can you build your marriage on these things? Practicing patience and grace in everyday situation. I can speak. Oh yeah, for everything I can speak. I'm eloquent. I can justify. A time will come to just be quiet. Just be quiet. And your spouse will wonder, something is going on here. Oh, my wife, my husband, I know them. They must have the last word. Sometimes for you to enjoy that marriage, you just have to be quiet. There's a time to be quiet. There's a time to speak. A time to shout. A time not to respond. A time for everything. Okay, let's talk about another one. To sustaining that marriage, apart from love, you need financial and practical stability. Managing finances wisely and avoiding unnecessary debt will help you sustain your marriage apart from love. Because you love your spouse and they're always betting or they're always investing, will never see return. They're always, mismanaging money. Hey, it has nothing to do with love. Oh, sit down, let's talk. What is the problem? What's happening here? No. I love you, but I do not love your mismanagement of money. They're two different things. Don't mix them up. Princess, I see you, Princess Gloria. Thanks for joining us. Managing finances wisely and avoiding unnecessary debt. Yes, if you do that with love, you can sustain your marriage. Working together to build a stable home and a future. Supporting each other's career and personal growth is very, very practical, and it will bring stability in your marriage. I'm mindful of the time, so I'm going to speed up here. Again, physical and emotional intimacy is needed, as well as love, to sustain that marriage. Prioritizing affection, romance, intimacy to maintain closeness is very vital. And I know life happens. These things may be hindered one way or another. And that's why, fine, I love space, don't get me wrong. But then, for how long? If you cannot sit and talk about these things amicably, this affection is affected. Emotional support during tough times to strengthen the bond. Sometimes even in a marriage relationship, one of the spouses may be going through a tough time. It could be with their health. It could be with their work or profession. It could be both parties going through the same challenge, like maybe finding it difficult to give birth or have children and things like that. They need emotional support for one another to strengthen that bond. That's not the time to start saying, maybe it's you, something is wrong with, that's why we can't have babies. My mother said it, I should be it's not. That is not going to help you or your spouse in that relationship. Be mindful that you're there for one another to strengthen that bond. Then again, understanding each other's love language and needs. This one, few times has come up here and there. Oh, Mrs. Williams. Oh, thank you so much for stopping by. I know you're busy. Each other's love languages. What does your spouse like in terms of love language? What do you like? Thank you so much for the heart to me, ma'am. Thank you. That's why you need effective communication. Otherwise, You would use your own love language all the time, and it's like, this man is not speaking my language. This woman is not speaking my language. And then they might lose interest. So it's very crucial to have your love language or your love gestures or whatever it is you guys have come up with over the years. It's very crucial, and this kind of builds that bond, and sustenance in that marriage. If your spouse is not feeling whatever, there's a language they would use and you would understand. What do you do at that time? You just cuddle, or you just be there for them in that space. How well do you know your spouse's love language? Question. Again, let's look at practical ways to strengthen a marriage beyond love. Look at the topic. Can love alone sustain a marriage relationship? That's what we're talking about, and I can't wait to hear from you guys. I'm going to be rounding up soon. Practical ways to strengthen a marriage bond beyond love. Prioritize time together. It's very crucial. Regular date nights and quality moments to reconnect. And like I say, guys, sometimes you do not have to spend. You might say, money is tight now. No, it's not about money. Well, not always about money. Spending that time together could be anything. As long as you're together, go for a walk. Like I said, have a date night in your back garden. Have a picnic. Just the two of you with a snack or something. Just sit, chill, and bond. You don't have to go. You have bread at home, I guess. Have sandwich. Have a juice or drink water. Just sit together and bond. Have that time together. That's that moment, quality moment I'm talking about. And sometimes you might say, for me, you don't understand. Maybe we work different shifts most times. It's hard. The phase we're in, we've transitioned to this phase, like we hardly see each other. Guys, go on a date on your mobile phone. Yeah. No, say another one. Go on your date. What do you mean by that? You have break times, don't you? If you sit and talk effectively, you will find that there's a time you can do video calls. And I just want to see your face. That 30 minutes is quality time spent with your spouse. Excuses are for failures, as I've gathered. Hina, thanks for joining. Do something to help you reconnect. Have moments together. Again, practical ways to strengthen that marriage beyond love is continue learning about each other. You see, this thing is a problem that I've noticed. When you marry your spouse, you don't know the entirety of them. I don't know the grammar to use now. They are growing. They are experiencing life. They are evolving. And they are rediscovering. So you don't know their totality as a human being. You have to keep learning whatever phase your spouse is. Try to understand it and try to be there. Because this transition will keep happening until, death happens, so to say. Don't say, why are you doing this now? I didn't meet you like this. Hey, let's be careful that we understand them, whatever the transition or the phase they're in. It's very interesting when you rediscover your spouse or you're discovering each other. You're changing interest. I used to share here, once upon a time I was crazy about red, color red. But now it's all of the rainbows put together. You will see me, there is no, in fact, it's not anything. You will not catch me with one color. If you catch me with one color, maybe if I, even to sleep, my PJ, the color of the trouser will be different from the top or something. You will not catch me. I have different colors. The color of the rainbow is my color now, like I always show you. And you say, but I've always known you to love red. And I bought something is red though. Hello? You've not taken time to be interested in their changing interests. Yes, their needs, their dreams. Dreams can change. Especially when you're more mature. You just find out all the dreams you had, they're just like baby dreams. Now you have experience, you're thinking big. Your spouse should be able to think big alongside you. And even when you're relenting, to focusing on those things, your spouse should say, You remember what you said. You have big dreams. Why are you stopping yourself? Why are you procrastinating? They can be there to, encourage you to do that thing or to achieve that dream. Again, I'm talking about ways to strengthen that marriage bond beyond love. Again, resolve conflicts peacefully. Avoid blame and focus on solution. Somebody has said something. Yeah, the truth is bitter, as they say. Have you taken time to actually hear what they're saying? Even if you think it's not entirely true, I mean, your spouse will not just come out of the blues and say certain things that they're not experiencing with you. So please take time to listen, no matter how bitter it sounds. Your focus should be how to resolve that thing. Your focus should be solution. Somebody has said something, my dear husband, how can I change this? I honestly didn't realize I've been doing this or whatever. Please help me so we can, help me out or something. Talk about these things. And again, I will mention this. Pray and grow spiritually together. It's very important. Seek guidance and strength from God together. You can hold hands, pray for your spouse. Not for the scheduled time. Out of the blues, you can just come and say, you know what, I feel the need to pray for you, my husband. I feel the need to pray for you, my wife. Without the scheduled time of 9 o'clock or whatever time it is. Pray and grow spiritually together. It kind of encourages that bond beyond love. Celebrate small wins. Appreciate and acknowledge each other's effort in that relationship. Look, it takes two to tango. One might be bringing 60% of everything and the other 40%. That 40%, some people are looking for their spouse to even bring 10%. They can't find it. And yours is bringing 40% and you're looking down on them. You're disrespecting them. You're doing all of this. No. A13, thanks for joining. I see you. We need to learn to appreciate each other. Especially each other's efforts. Even if it's not 100%. It's hard sometimes. But let's even try. Let's try. And see how well the bond will grow in that relationship. Again, seek wise counsel. Yeah, hola to you as well. Attend marriage seminars and counseling when needed. Because like I said, it's a lifelong journey. You don't know the enormity of challenges that will come your way. Some you may be able to tackle by yourselves together as a couple. Some you might just need help from a professional. Sometimes you feel, oh, we're okay. How often do you go for marriage seminars? How often do you and your spouse watch maybe movies that has to do with marriage and things like that? It's very important. Not just all this Nollywood, Hollywood, what. Look for meaningful movies that will benefit you, that will teach you how to treat one another. There's so many out there. I'm not mentioning any, but go on YouTube. You'll find them. And again, support each other's growth. It's very crucial. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, we are growing. Both of you are growing. Encourage each other's career. Encourage each other personally. Encourage each other to develop spiritually. If you're persons of faith, look for ways to just encourage your spouse for no reason. If I can put it, I just remember myself. Why did you do that? He just spoke to me for no reason. Yeah, encourage your spouse for no reason. For encouragement's sake. If I can put that one that way. So guys, I'm going to conclude by saying that while love is the foundation of marriage, it alone does not sustain. Alone, it's not enough. Alone cannot sustain a lifelong union. Love by itself, no. A successful marriage requires commitment, effective communication, trust, respect, forgiveness, shared goals, efforts, tolerance, patience, integrity, loyalty. In fact, so many things that I've mentioned in the course of my talk today, as well as love. In order for us to be successful, we need all of these things. Couples must work daily, yes, daily to nurture their relationship, to grow together and overcome challenges. Even if you live miles apart, you can still build that relationship. There is no excuse because technology has made life easier. So we don't have any excuse. Love, yeah, okay, Leslie. Love must be expressed not just in words, but through consistent actions, patience, dedication. When love is combined with these essential elements, marriage becomes strong, it becomes fulfilling and enduring. Guys, my final thought for us today is a strong marriage is not built on the feeling of love alone, but on the daily choices to love, to respect, and remain committed to each other's through all of life's seasons. Seasons come, seasons go. Your spouse still remains. So, my question is very simple today. In fact, if I don't ask it, you should know by the topic. Can love alone sustain a marriage? I've given my own perspective. You might think differently. I mean, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. You might think differently. But I'm done with my talk. And my question is for us, can love alone sustain a marriage relationship? Thank you guys for listening. Let the dawn of a new day bring I see you said no. Okay. Send an invite. Send an invite, guys. Let's talk some more about this. I bet there may be one or two that, thank you for the heart me. A13, thank you. Minstrel, please send an invite. It's the time. I'm opening the box now. I want us to share views. I want us to share our opinion. What do we think? Because the goal here is to enjoy our marriage relationship, whether the devil likes it or not, whether society likes it or not. We want to put in the effort. And this is why we're here on Insight. Those talks we shy away from, let's talk about it here so we can enjoy that marriage relationship. Zion, I see you. Thanks for joining. I hope you're good. Hey, Adebinga, I see you. It's been a while. Hey, yeah, I hope you're not at work today. Mrs. Williams, I'm going to try and bring you, but I know you're busy. If you can, please. Want to hear from experienced men and women to share with us today so that, we can take notes and go do better at houses. Zion R. Elder Adebinga. Thanks for joining in. I hope our day has been good. Please send an inbox. Let's hear from you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, yeah, I don't want to waste much time. I'm going to come to you, Zion R, because you're the first in my box. I hope you're good. Thanks for joining us here. Is it your first time or you've been a regular or on and off? Zion? Zion, I hope you can speak where you are. You're good. Okay. Can you speak where you are? You have to unmute.
Yeah, hi everybody.
You're good. Okay.
Hi everybody.
Can you speak where you are? You have to unmute.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, hi You're good. Okay.
Hi everybody.
Can you speak where you are? You have to unmute.
Yes, I can.
Okay, so Zion, I think maybe a call came. Whether you accepted it or not, it kind of interferes when you want to come on live. So please do me a favor. You know the calling app itself. If you can close it, the echo might just go away, so we can hear you clearly. If you close that calling app or maybe some other apps interfering.
I'm not on any other call.
Oh, okay. I don't know why it's echoing. Do you want to drop and come back, please? Please don't go away. Okay, I don't know why it's echoing. Do you want to drop and come back, please? Please don't go away. Okay. Okay, thank you. So if you can close the TikTok app and come back in, so that way no interference, hopefully, fingers crossed. So Elder, I guess we'll be starting off with you today. I want to believe you heard some of the talk or part of it, but like the question says, it's quite, even if you were not here for the talk, you can answer. Can love alone sustain a marriage? So good evening, welcome again to Insight. I hope you've been good.
Yes, I have been good. Good evening.
Good evening. Good to see you again.
Thank you for having me here.
Welcome.
How is everyone doing? I trust you all are fine.
Yeah, we bless God. We bless God. Apart from the cold, yeah, we're grateful. Yes, so
Okay.
thank you.
Ah, love. Never ending love.
Love one ting. Hey,
Well,
maybe you will sing Whitney Houston song for us before you start.
anyway, hey, with this my baritone voice,
And I carry on. Oh my God. I'm just joking. It's because of what you said. That song came to my mind. It's okay.
I know, I know, I know.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Do you think
can love so?
love
I
alone?
would. I would like to break it down first into two sections.
Please do.
The first thing I'm gonna do is, can love sustain marriage? And the question tonight is, can love alone? You know, we have people who would love you despite all of your iniquities.
They must be children
Ye-
of God.
Because they don't look at your iniquities, they don't look at your faults. So, with such people, can love sustain marriage? Yes. But looking at love alone, now, a lifelong journey, your wife might be beautiful in the morning and before noon. What do you see? Look, wow, see how you are looking.
Let's keep tapping, please.
Love alone can actually not sustain a relationship or marriage.
Why do you think so?
You know, you've said so much tonight. You've covered every aspect of it, the financial aspect, the commitment aspect, and the commitment aspect covers that. Love is an active word that is a continuous doing. You know, it's an effort we need to keep putting into for it to work.
Yeah.
Love goes a long way. Like you rightly said, we must be willing to forgive. And forgiveness has to do with a lot of overlooking.
Tell me about it.
Because, my dear, so, and so. Okay, don't worry, let's walk around it. We should be focused. Yeah, we should have goals set. These are the purposes that can keep love alive. So, yeah, love is what reminds, love is what keeps someone on tour to do the other things that is necessary. You know,
Oh,
my boss in Nigeria,
okay, minstrel. Yeah.
is somebody, when we were at site, is the one that is putting money down for all of us to eat during our lunch or break time.
Wow.
But do you know one thing that amazes us about him? His meals are always packed.
Wow.
So the only thing you would probably see him buying outside wouldn't be more than water or drink. And whenever he's going home,
Sorry, Adegbenga, sorry to cut you, but I just want to address minstrel. Even if you don't, even if you don't have 1,000 followers, as long as you have people following you, you can come into the box. You may not be able to open your camera, but you'll be able to unmute. I think, yeah. Or do you have to have 1,000 to unmute? I mean, to speak.
he said
Adegbenga,
he doesn't have live access.
what does that mean?
That I'm actually new to this as well. I'm not sure.
Into camera.
What do you mean? No. Okay, sorry, you can carry on. I'll try to figure it
It's
out.
okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You know, whenever he's going home, there is a gas plant close to my house.
Yeah.
My boss will tell me, Ajon Lolele, we are going home together today. Oh, whenever he says that, I know he's going to fill the gas
Oh.
so he could take home. You know, he said if he doesn't come to my house, that means no food for him tonight. Not that he doesn't have the money to go to any restaurant or to afford any meal he wants, but he knows there is a commitment somewhere.
Okay.
And his home is his place of refuge where he finds peace no matter what. Let me tell you, forget anything that is outside, it is my home that matters most. You know, it means the two parties are playing their card well for it to function. So, yes, love alone cannot sustain marriage or relationship. We have to be selfless in doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that submission. It's very crucial. It's very crucial what you have said. And if husband and wife they don't have an understanding, of course there will be problem. Even if they love each other, need to for a second, Ade. Thank you. So, Zion, I'm gonna come to you. I hope it's a lot better now. Let's try to hear you. Maybe. Welcome.
Audible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yay! Thank God, it's good now. Yeah.
Now, for me, I would like to start from the most basic.
Okay.
How do you define the word love?
Mm.
That is where we all begin.
Okay.
Love is just because it's not just about admiring somebody talking well, dressed well, nice makeups, well educated. You see, the first time that you meet a person,
Mm.
you don't say you love him. Just say you admire the characters he has, you admire the way he presents himself, you admire the way he actually articulates words, you admire the way she dresses, you admire the way she walks, you admire such an habit or behavior in her. That is the first thing that attracts you to a person.
Yeah.
Now, once that happens, you kind of start communicating.
Mm.
Once you start communicating is to learn what the other person likes and does and what he doesn't like in life or she. From there, you start quoting. Quoting is now where you actually get to know this person, the character that makes him a human being. Is he emotional? Is he stable? Is he mentally okay? What is the background he was raised? Because sometimes the background under which you were raised as African sons and kids is so different from the Western world. And that's why mostly I tell people that we need to adapt what you think is good from the West and what we think traditionally is viable, something that is workable. We don't just adapt something for the sake of it, just to show that you're in a certain class of people or anything. But remember, traditionally, our parents used to say, it is how you look at things, how you perceive. So that's why I said that we all have to gain from the word, what is love? Love is when you sit down and somebody gets to understand you,
Mm.
the inner self. It's the way you just sit down and have a meeting with yourself. Like if you break from a relationship, you don't expect me to go to another relationship immediately. The question you ask yourself, the relation did not work. What were the main causes? Was I the cause of that breakup? And why is it? Have I corrected myself? Have I taken my humble time to heal? Am I ready to move into the next stage? So when you're able to ask those questions, that's when you come to understand what love. Love to me is something that is a continuous process and it grows on a daily. Me, I tell people Valentine to me is a daily affair.
It should
It's
be.
not something, it's not something that comes on the 14th of
February
February.
14, yeah.
Yep. Precisely. So once you have seen that you two of you are compatible, you understand my behavior, you know my likes, you know my colors, you know what type of food that I like eating, my style of eating. Maybe some of us we like using our hands instead of using the fork and knife and what have you, spoons and name it. Maybe I'm not somebody, I'm so traditional. Maybe I'm more modest or I'm more civilized. So once you get to understand my character and my background, that is when you sit down and ask yourself, can I and you be compatible? Can we raise a family? Are we able to leave a lineage?
Yeah.
Once you do that one, is when now you come to understand that person. Because when you go into love, yes, you like somebody. What is it that attracts you to this person? Do you share the same vision? Does he have a future? Where does he want to be? It's like what I normally tell people. There's no way you can be able to achieve anything in life unless you plan it in advance. Like, what do you want? Okay, me and you, if we were to sit down and raise a family, where do we see ourselves in the next 2 years? Okay, let's say you have a plan for 5 years. I would like to have my own house, my own home, and my own car, and maybe have 2 or 3 kids. But how do we achieve this? What are the process? What do we need to endure? And the other thing is, once you plan that one, you need to know that you have to lay the foundation for that. Just the way you build a house, you have to build it on a rock solid foundation. So, what are the basic things that you need to put as a foundation for that relationship to prosper? One thing I've come to learn from experience is that one and the most basic is actually communication. How effective am I in my communication? How open am I? How transparent am I? How accountable am I? And how do I obey? Do I give somebody a space of time? Does he have that space he needs? Like I'll tell my wife, okay, today I'm going to watch football. Okay, fine, that is your hobby. Do it. It's okay. Does your wife or your husband trust you whenever you're out alone? So you have to create the trust in somebody in order for him to believe you. Because when you say something, you don't have to sign any document. Your word should be as good as yourself as a person. So once these things you find that you people can sit down, relate and talk, communicate, be transparent. You see, people always forget the thing that a woman is supposed to be subjective or submissive. How do you understand that word? Because if you look at the hierarchy, if you look at the political science perspective, politics begins from home. Yes, the husband is the president, fine, but the wife is the prime minister. The children are the cabinets. So when you delegate duties to your wife and you delegate duties to the kid, are they done to the way you are satisfied? So we start from the unit called a family. And one thing people don't need to understand that when you bring this woman to your place, when you engage her, you have to be the sole protector at any cost. One thing, you have to protect her from your own father and mother, your own brothers and sisters, from your own cousins. And the same, she should protect you from your brothers-in-law, sisters-in-law, and cousins, because you have to draw what I call a boundary. Do not go beyond this. Otherwise, me and you, it will be another thing. You'll have a small civil war at home. So once you do that one, is when now you start now getting to understand somebody. And that's why I tell love is a continuous process, because I look at love in such a way that if my wife does something good and I appreciate, for example, has made a nice meal, something which is more or less like a surprise for me, how do you appreciate her? Maybe I'll buy a nice necklace, a nice trouser for her, a nice belt for her, or maybe some earrings. Or maybe I'll just wake up in the morning and say, no, she did something yesterday for me. Give him 2, 3 days, I'll cook and surprise and serve a breakfast in bed. No, these are small things that people need to appreciate. It's in there. It is in there that you don't know that love alone cannot sustain anything. It is more. It's a component. It's a compound that brings so many things together. And if your wife appreciates you, might find, oh, my husband, this, and this for me. It's the way we are African tradition. We normally say dowry is not something that you can pay and say that you finished paying dowry. That's why you are told there's still dowry to be paid. When you took your father-in-law to hospital, when you educate your brother-in-law, that is part of dowry. Today he's sick, you are contributing. That's part of dowry. Because this is not an item or a commodity that you can go to the shop and purchase and say that, okay, I paid dowry. I don't want to see your brothers here. I don't want to see my brothers-in-law, my sisters-in-law. You're not a cow to be purchased from the market. You're not a goat. You're not a camel. So the most important is the foundation under which actually the love basis was built on. And that's only comes in when we learn to appreciate each other, have communication, trusting each other, be reliable. Then from there, you're told love is a continuous process. That's the way I look at it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The continuous process is a component needed to sustain that relationship as well as so many other components. I thank you so much for that contribution. It makes a whole lot of sense to me, and I hope people listening there as well. Because gone are the days they say, "Oh, love is everything." Like, they will say, "Love is blind." Love is, so many definitions. But love alone, would love alone sustain that marriage? African marriages, whether in diaspora or in Africa, must graduate from struggle love to luxury love. Hey, in fact, I'm coming to you, Leslie. You have to break it down and let us understand. But before I do, you put a portion of the Bible there, which I want to read out to us. That is 2 Peter 1 5-8. It says, "But also for this very reason, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, to virtue knowledge, to knowledge control, to self-control perseverance, to perseverance godliness, to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness love. For if these things are yours and abound, you will neither be barren, I guess, nor unfruitful in the knowledge of your." So I don't know if this is a portion you meant to cite for us, but at least I can get the perseverance, the godliness, the self-control alongside love in that marriage, because every time your spouse upsets you and you react, there'll be World War V. So please, I'm coming to Leslie now. Thank you so much for joining in. I know you said you were going to come back. At least I think I saw you listen to few bits of my talk. It is the principle of addition in growth. Okay. So the floor is yours, Leslie. I hope you're good. Welcome to Insight today.
Good evening, panel. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Where's our moderator tonight?
So actually, she sent me a message to say, busy work schedule and all of that. And she trusts that we will have a wonderful time on the program. So here we are.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes. So, yes, it's a great topic, and you've made some very good points. The point I was actually making in bringing that skill is the principle that, in marriage, this wasn't talking about our faith in God, but even in our marriages, you have to add, you have to keep adding and growing. A lot of it is going to take effort and sacrifice for us to be able to see reward and just blessings, wherever they may be. So it's not just the love, but we have to add to that love and build on it. Okay. We have to be able to prepare to grow through the years. One of the things I believe is having a vision, and that vision, there's a short term, there's a medium term, and there's a long term. And I believe when you have a vision in your marriage because first and foremost, you have to have a vision for your own life. Never mind being married.
Otherwise, what are you bringing on board? Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a vision for your own life. You have to, especially as a man, you have to be going somewhere. Yeah. You have to be on a journey to go somewhere. You want to be able to. You are going somewhere to do things, to make things happen. And yes, if you're bringing a wife along, then you are growing together to achieve those things. So it's important to have a vision that I believe will last you. One of the things I believe that helps in having a vision is that it keeps you focused on where you are going as a couple, even as an individual, and it makes you accountable because that vision is something that will remind you of your responsibilities, of how you're going to achieve it, what are you doing to make it happen. So in marriage, you also have to have a vision. It's not just okay, we're married and that's it, but you have to have a vision of where do you want to go, how do you want to achieve those things. And as you grow, you are also going to change in terms of your characters. It depending on what your vision is demanding of you, you're going to have to make adjustments. So that's what I mean, that in their principle of add to this, add to that, it's you have to keep adding and building on your marriage. So that's the main thing. And my point of African marriages, I feel that a lot of our marriages is survival, a survival mode. We don't we A lot of marriages. I'll give you an example. It seems like, especially I've seen it a lot. You will see someone, they get married, and as soon as they start to do well, they feel it's time to change wife or move on to side chick or whatever, and that means they haven't had a vision beyond the struggle. They've not seen their marriage beyond the two of them just struggling to pay bills. They've not seen a point where when the bills are all paid, what do we do then? How does our marriage graduate from that point? Because the time will come where you're going, by eventually, God blesses your hand, you have favor, something happens, things begin to do well. Are you now going to go and check out and say, well, I don't need this person anymore, let me move on? No, you have to have a vision beyond just the struggle. For instance, one of the things that my wife and I will always look at, we always say that we want to be in a situation where we can look back and we can tell our great grandchildren the things that we have achieved to do for them to be where they're at. That's a vision we have, that we can be able to share. Oh, this is what great grandma, this is what we did, the things that we have left, we're leaving for you, the legacy we're leaving for you. So you have to have a vision that outlasts the two of you, or else it's just struggle. And I feel too many of our marriages, they don't plan, sometimes we don't see beyond struggle, just hardship. And I think we're too used to hardship. So when things do become good,
maybe it's where we're coming from.
yeah, I know. It's like we don't, and I've seen that happen a lot. It's like we don't now think things can be better to the point where we're not struggling to pay bills or not struggling to purchase this or that. It's like when that happens, it's almost like we don't know what to do with ourselves, or we just feel, especially the husbands, let me go and change wife now and get younger version, as if they're not getting older themselves.
That means couples should start talking about when the money arrives, what are we going to do? Don't tell me. That means you're going to take a second wife. Me, I should go and take a second husband. What does that mean?
Exactly. And that's a good point. That, there's no planning. Sometimes I actually believe that it's good for a couple to sit down and plan. If all our bills are paid, what are we going to do? For instance, we have a vision where certain things happen financially. We're looking at investing in an orphanage. That's one of the things we say we're going to do when there's an excess. That's one of those things. So there has to be a plan beyond just. Another one we have said, and I'm just going to drop it, I don't want to give it. Another thing we said is that we want to be doing at least a weekend away every, I think we say every 3 months, and probably a week away once a year, just the two of us. Those are some of the things that we are planning to do when there's a bit of excess. So it's planning for certain things that will make sure that we are not, we don't know what to do ourselves when that happens. Because it does happen. And I've seen that some people haven't got to the point where when it happens, they are able to grow together in that season. So it's important, I believe, that that in our marriages, we plan for success as well. It's not just to pay bills as it is. We should also plan when peradventure by the grace of God we are successful. These are the things we are also going to do. These are the things that we plan to be able to engage in. Or else, when it does happen, you might not know. I see, like I said, I've seen too many times to know that it's a reality.
Yeah.
So we need to move away from just struggle love and just exist and we're just here to pay bills. We're not here to pay bills. There's life beyond paying bills, and that's a reality that I think we need to start growing accustomed to. That it can happen, but if it's not us, even our children, as they're a lot of them are not going to go through the struggles we had. No, so what happens to them when they do become more successful than where we're at, and their own starting point. Does that mean that they just, they have too many options? They can't get that discipline to say, no, I'm focused on this person I'm with in marriage, and we can thrive and be able to thrive together and not get bored or just feel like, whatever this thing, however it happens. There has to be a plan beyond just struggle, and there has to be a plan for when we are successful. This is what we're going to do. Because even here in the West, we have seen a lot of marriages that fail when they have plenty. When things are going well, then somebody begins to they start thinking that it's time to indulge. Whereas, no, move to the next level. Maybe you can invest in other marriages, invest in people, invest in yourselves, do certain things that, start planning to do, maybe go on a trip or whatever, but make the plan, or else one can become complacent. It's very important. So that's what I want to just share on that level. Thank you.
Thank you. It's amazing. The things we don't pay attention to may not just be our downfall later. You know what you said, now I understand, because sometimes when you read, you try to understand what
you said.
saying. Uh-oh. Zion, I hope it's not echoing again. Maybe another call came in.
No, I am not in an echo place. I wouldn't know what would be the problem. Maybe the conversion or something
It's
like that.
actually fine. I'll just make a comment, and then I saw some few comments that you were making. So if you want to say one or two things, I mean, you can do as well. I've been trying to see other people on there. Sometimes maybe it's my own thinking. It depends on how crucial these topics are. Sometimes you easily find people sending requests to want to speak, but when we hit the what do you call it, the nail on the head, sometimes it's a bitter pill to swallow for some people, which I quite appreciate. I mean, if we end the live now, honestly, I am fine, good to go. I will repost the live anyway, so people can come back, even if it's a talk, other people's contribution, to listen back and see one or two things they can pick. It's very crucial when we don't plan for the future. I mean, even if you're struggling, build, one day, the earth, God will smile on you and things will be okay. What then do you do with yourselves? I remembered a couple of years ago, I kind of adopted this big aunt. We met in a store and she comes regularly. We meet there. We exchange pleasantries, exchange details, and what have you. And then, I went to visit her. She came to visit me. And in my mind, I'm like, of course, she's a grandma. And then later we'll get to know each other. She's a grandma. And then she explained, for me, you will not believe that husband of, is it 36 or almost 40 years, left her, in this our UK, and went to Nigeria, and is now entangled with a younger person that is old enough to be the daughter, on the pretext that I'm going home to build a home where we'll go and retire. When I heard that, honestly, it broke something in me. I'm like, at what age is he doing that? And you think this young person is the one that come and love you the way you were for 40 years? So there's so many cases, examples we can cite. Can love alone sustain a marriage? That is our focus here. And we know that challenges will come and will come and tear this love apart. What else? What then do you have? What else do you have to fight for or fight with? Is there commitment that's okay, even if they've done this grievous thing, but they're committed? I'm still going to fight for this marriage. Or, oh, they're persons of integrity. Or what can you hold on to apart from love if things were to happen to that relationship? Food for thought. Think about it. Husband and wife, please find time to talk. Look for scenarios. Imagine, honey, if you find yourself in this situation, what do you think you will do to me? Or what do I think I will do to you? Sometimes we might go worst case scenarios. Imagine we're just okay. We paid all our mortgages. We even bought another house. We've gone into real estate. We're just comfortable. What do you think you will do? Is that when you tell me that I'm not good enough? Or is that when you tell me that, after all, it was my hard-earned efforts that got us here? What will become of us when we're not comfortable? Because a lot of people don't plan for that. They just feel, oh, we'll be comfortable, life will be fine. But I beg to differ. Things happen and you'll be shocked. and how that good transition, if not planned, will bring a bad and negative effect into that relationship. Minstrel said, "Love alone can't support marriage." Please,
No,
Zion, let us hear what you have to say before
what
I
I
read.
wanted to say is that when you're in a relationship, it's just like you're holding a flask of flowers.
Okay.
The most important thing is how you handle it. Will you leave will you wash your hands with soap and then handle a glass? You have to make sure that you've cleaned with clean water, you have dried your hands properly, then you handle it from the bottom and the center, giving it that stability. And that stability will only come when you understand also the weakness of your partner.
Yeah.
That look, this is your weakness. Wow, what is it that I can do to improve on your weakness? What is it that you can do also to improve on my weaknesses? So the most important thing is we also need to work on our weaknesses at the same time as a personal goal. So that whenever, in this world there's so many things. I always tell people that your co-workers are not your friends. They're co-workers. You'll find that you come to trust a co-worker, but who is ready actually to sacrifice you if things go haywire? That is not a friend, is a co-worker, period. So that's why I always tell people that you actually need to classify the kind of friends that you actually relate to and what kind of information you give them. Because they are these same kind of workers that you spend most of your time with. What people are you relating with? What is the behavior? That's why you always say people saying that if you want to know the character that I am, who I am, you should see the people I surround myself with. It should be able to tell you that this is the kind of a person. Because if I'm married and I've got grown-up kids, what would I be doing with a 20-year-old graduate who is just a management trainee? Okay, we might sit for a cup of coffee and discuss office work and everything, but what would I be telling him to come to my place to do? Is he a personal friend? But he's a co-worker. Let's meet at a place of work or a cup of coffee or a drink or luncheon. Then from there, everybody goes. So that's why I always say that it reaches a time in life you have to use what we call the litmus test. You create a scenario and see how many people will always be there. Is there somebody you can actually call 24/7 and even who will do things better than you could have done it for yourself? Once you know the inner circle, now the other ones are just general friends. They are people you can socialize with. Those are the kind of people who actually influence some of the decisions that we make. You start engaging yourself in a behavior that you did not have when you were that age. So the company that you actually associate with also influences the way you look at things, the way you perceive things, and the way you actually treat others. Because with a young man who is 20 and he wants to tell you he wants to drive a V8, he wants to have a 7-bedroom, what kind of salary will he be making? He has not even built what we call a brand of himself. He has not branded himself as a brand. So at times we say that it's always good that you sit down and also ask God to give you guidance, to make you wise, to see things from a different angle, so that when you make mistakes, you can be able to retreat immediately and know, no, this is not the route I'm supposed to follow. My way is supposed to be the other one. Take the next roundabout or make a U-turn if possible and come and look for your route. So we normally say short runs make the wrong runs. So you might make a mistake. Let it be a learning process, but not a route that you need to follow. So the most important thing is the way you build it, the way you sustain it is up to you as a person, as an individual. That's why I always say that, you see, when kids are growing up, to me, I look them as a software. They copy the characters that we do. They go to school, they say, this is what my parents tell me. And I'm saying this one because I've seen kids who go to school and they tell, oh, our Heavenly Father. Then the kid says, no, our God does not live in heaven. He lives in our ceiling, because he has had the Father doing intercourse or having sex and saying, I'm going to heaven. I feel like I'm in heaven. So be very careful and choose your words wisely. And also be aware of your surrounding, because your kids will be copying exactly. If you come and you start abusing your wife, they will believe that a man has a right to abuse the woman. So they're growing up knowing it's the right thing to do. Let's not be like our father, who could actually abuse you and tell you that the stupid one belongs to the mother, and tells you so stupid like your mother's clan. Those are gone the ages, because they'll grow up knowing women are stupid. No, we need to tell them that we love them. They need us to know that you can communicate with them. Let them know that we are the last line of defense. Should anything happen in school, whether he or she is on the wrong, they can always run to us because we are the line. Because if you don't do that, you don't open up to your kids, for example, they'll start telling the neighbors. Neighbors will be having more information than you as a parent. If a kid tells you that he's going for a sleepover, do you know where she's going for a sleepover? Do you know the parents? Have you met with them? Do you know their character? Do you know what they do? Maybe they're going over and there's alcohol, there's everything, there's smoking, there's everything, and they don't care about what the kids do. Maybe the kids also sneak, go to disco and everything. So it is relatively important that you need to safeguard your family in each and every course as you grow old. Thank you.
Thank you. I like the way you kind of put the responsibility, like each individual, if both parties are committed, are loyal, are concerned enough, because all of these things we're talking about in your marriage, of course, the prayer is you will have children. We rub off on our children. You know, there's this saying that do as I say, not as I do. But the opposite is the case with our children. They're watching you. How you treat daddy, how you treat mommy, and they're growing in what they see, and they're probably going to be better at whatever they've seen you do. So if it's the negative, they will be better at it. I'm telling you. So we need to be mindful. This thing we're talking about marriage, it goes beyond husband and wife. The children as well is included. When you don't sit with your spouse to talk effectively, when you don't communicate effectively, when you don't share, we don't plan, and things like that, these children are looking, they are watching, and you are building a generation as well. Are you mindful of that? Mistral, I see what you've put on there, and I don't know, maybe there's an omission. I'll read out what it says. In the final analysis, love alone can't support a marriage, because without love, all the above won't exist. I don't know if you want to rewrite that so that I don't get a wrong end of the stick. In my talk, I gave an example of some people, they don't love each other. It could be a marriage of convenience. It could be a marriage of age, because, oh, I'm old, I just pick somebody and marry them. I can't be bothered to be falling in love at my age. Some people, because this person is wealthy, financial.
Pressure from parents and from our
Exactly.
relatives.
Your
Yeah.
parents have been
From
pressurizing you,
age.
and you're waiting for love, and now you're 40-year-old woman, still waiting for love, and your family is not letting you rest. You just settle for anyone that comes, whether you're in love or not. So there's so many circumstances that people get married, not necessarily based on love, and they still have to sustain that marriage because they have commitment. And maybe, who knows, in the long run, love cannot even come into that equation. So if I read this statement you've put on there, I don't know whether, I don't know, it's your statement, I do get it, but I don't know, I just feel like that there should be more to that. People these days, this is the 21st century, you know, that it's not, they say all that glitter is gold. Not everybody's marrying for love. There's so many arranged marriage. Some people don't even see their spouse, they don't know nothing about them until that wedding day. Do you want to say that is love? So love wasn't there, but they came together, promising to be committed, to have a go at it, to understand themselves, and then maybe love might just come into that equation. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying based on what you put on there.
Sometimes people go into marriage for commercial gains. You find a guy stays in a suburb area, is very rich and everything. He is a young girl who's just finished college and he has nothing to lose. So he says, I'd rather go and be married by this rich man, not knowing how much pressure the guy has gone through to build the kind of capital and wealth that he has. So you marry, you get one kid. After 2-3 years down the line, you want a divorce. If that was the reason, you're too old, you cannot satisfy me, looking for fake excuse. All he's targeting is maybe the wealth to be divided into two, where you have not actually sowed any seeds. So it's like a limited liability company where the directors are waiting for dividend at the end of the year. So we have to be very careful. So love has to have a proper foundation. A proper foundation is whereby you need to understand. There's nothing as good as when you grow with your wife from when you have nothing to have something. Then you appreciate one another. She or he has played a role in building yourself into what you people have become. So once that respect is there, I'll tell you nothing can come in between. Come run, come sunshine. This is your husband. Is that you know him, whether he's naked or walking, it is you. It's the way you can go to a supermarket and you're dressed poorly. You present your husband. When I go for the supermarket dressed poorly, I present my wife. Whenever you quarrel, let those affairs remain in the bedroom. You don't have to go and tell people outside. No, not even your kids are supposed to know. That's how you gain respect, and that's that you give the other partner respect in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
So I want to say something quickly.
I've mentioned are precluded in what I said. Okay, well.
Yeah, I want to say something what Zion has said. That's so true that I think it's becoming rare these days where people are getting married and growing in their marriages. A lot of people today, it's not happening as often, but I think today we're living in a generation where people are already working, they're already in their careers, and they're no longer building. So now there's an expectation for them to the marriage is not, they're not growing and building things together like before. They're pretty much coming in, they already have career,
Ready-made.
ready made. And so it's what would really build them together. This is where a bit of the struggle or the refining of trials, it will actually begin to play a part in forging. But unfortunately, I think today people are so built into the idea of, I want to be comfortable no matter what. I don't want to go through anything. And I think that's where it has become very unrealistic in today's era, where everybody wants to be secure, and I don't want to risk any sign of growth. I just want to and it's not realistic, because what I've told people many times over is that even if you have everything financially, there's other areas of challenges that will come. Are you just going to check out because you've met a challenge? There's illness, there's career changes, there's all sorts of things that even money cannot meet those challenges. Your mental health, really having children, especially as people are getting married later and later, it's not getting easier. So are you just going to check out every time something doesn't, because it's going to affect your comfort? It's almost like comfort has become an idol.
I wonder how many spouses you will check out from just to be comfortable.
Comfortable. And it's not realistic. It's not realistic. And in fact, the irony is that they end up alone, long-term wise. Is a recipe for loneliness, because I want to be comfortable at all costs, and it's not realistic. So that's the other downside to people who are ready-made kind of attitude. There's no growing. There's no forging of knowing each other. What are we good? What have we built? What have we gone through? What have we overcome as a couple? It's so sad.
It is.
I agree in totality.
Yeah, you're right.
In a relationship, what normally counts at the end of the day. That's why I came from the word go. I said that in a relationship is give and take. There are things that you have to sacrifice. Even if my wife is a professional and is earning more than me, the question is, what is it that I can also contribute and put on the table? So long as we have proper communication, so long as we have an understanding, so long as we have respect for one another. And that's why I say sometimes we have to put God first. Teach our kids how to pray. Teach our kids how to be obedient. Teach our kids how to save. Teach our kids the most basic. So I'll give you a very good example. There's a friend of mine who wedded some time back. I'm talking about 20 years ago. He loved this lady, and they were in love for sure. So most of the time they used to take each other out to Wimpy, name it, those fancy restaurants. They would go to the coast of the holiday twice a year or everything. But what he didn't realize that this lady was brought up in a wealthy family. She did up to her master's. That time she was enrolling in her PhD. So most of the time the lady could come late because she had to work, and at the same time she has to go to college. So most of the time they could do what we call buying food from outside. So what used to happen, this lady did not know how to cook. So basically what happened is that if you don't know how to cook, the only thing she could do is prepare, let's say, scrambled eggs and maybe ugali and some few things. So the guy told him, I'm not going to chase you away. What we can do, because we have a common understanding, go back to your parents. Let your parents teach you how to do the basic thing, basic washing. And the guy actually told the wife, just go. I'm not sending you away. I'm not going to marry. I'll just give you 1 year to do that. And after that one, they've got big kids who have just finished college. So it is how you can be. You have to persevere and have some sacrifice to make at the end of the day. And the sacrifice to what level? That is the main thing. To what level are you ready to sacrifice? Because you cannot sacrifice every day. There's a limit to everything. Thank you.
Thank you, indeed. Completed off, really. I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, but a lot has also been said as well. So, well, what I could only add is while love is still fundamental in the foundation level, as a Christian, other qualities like trust, faith, and communication, and also understanding are crucial in a marriage and for it to thrive. In difficulties, the foundation is what can hold the marriage. Because challenges would come. And when they come, the understanding and the knowledge with which you've foundation will hold the marriage. While love is undeniably vital, marriage still requires deep, selfless love and commitment. So that's my final conclusion for tonight.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Oh, okay. All right, Zion. Thank you for that. Thank you, Adebenga, for that additional submission. It's very crucial, you know. We've mentioned love. Of course, love is the bedrock, is the foundation of relationship. But even if it's not there, that's why I said you'll be amazed that some arranged marriage, they're still together 50 years on because love came eventually and they have commitment, they have integrity, they have trust, they have patience, tolerance, and now then the love is there. So kudos to people who find themselves in that situation. But above all, still, love alone is not the only thing that can sustain a marriage. Love is needed, of course, no doubt about it. But there are other bits that sometimes people neglect or they fail to see that they need in that relationship. I mean, if I love my spouse and I'm not committed, that means I can go and do and undo, just live life anyhow because I'm not committed. Maybe I love you. That's what you need. I love you. You love me. That's it. We can live life anyhow. So where does that leave the growth of that marriage? Where does that lead the future of that marriage? Some people, it's like they find it hard to trust, especially in cases where maybe they've been in past relationships. It could be a wedding, I mean a proper marriage, they've broken up and now they found somebody else, and the issue from that past, they're bringing it to the new relationship. They can't trust this new person, and it will bring problems because the spouse will be wondering, I didn't guilt you, I didn't do those things, I'm a different person. But because they have not recovered, they have not dealt with what has happened, they are bringing all of those baggages into a new relationship. They love this new person, but they don't trust them. Why don't you trust them? Because my ex did this. Hello? How does that fit into that relationship you're in now? So, what am I trying to say in essence? We need to be mindful. You found someone, you like them, you are growing to love. Oh, you're thinking maybe this person might be the one. What other bits? Are they very understanding? Are they supportive? Are they loyal? Are they faithful to you? Are they tolerant of your shortcomings? And are they forgiving? Those are things you need to talk about, think about. Because don't say, oh, when you get into the marriage, because you're the love of their life, they will treat you well, all of these things wouldn't need to matter. Well, I beg to differ, it's going to matter. Because life would happen in that marriage relationship. There's so many things spouses need to talk about, they shy away from, and that's why we're here on Inside. Let's talk about these things so that it doesn't become a mountain when we now go into that marriage relationship, because you will suffer, your spouse is suffering, and now children are concerned as well. And these children are seeing how you're building with your spouse, and they're going to emulate that, whether you like it or not. It's only, oh, thank you, Minstrel. Oh, thank you for that. God bless. If we round off here, I think we've done justice to this topic. And all of a sudden, I don't even feel the need to bring my puzzle. Maybe I'll bring it back next week. Before Leslie would now dodge around. No, we'll leave the puzzle for today. Or what do you think?
Before I run, a thought came to my mind about this love being able to sustain marriage.
Yeah.
And why I think it's a good question. Yes, love. I don't think love alone will sustain marriage. And the only reasons why is that on Sunday we were studying the life of David. I think we've done a study that lasted almost 2 weeks, and we saw that when David began to seriously prosper, that's when the second level of his problem started. And this is why I was saying that sometimes success has its own situations. And I think, especially for us Africans, we think success answers all our problems. But as long as we're in this earth, it's not a perfect world. It has its own problems.
Yeah.
And one of the things we discovered that
Leslie,
when
do
people,
you remember this film, The Rich Also Cry?
yes. The rich also cry.
So don't think because they have money they don't cry. I know.
Oh yes, they do. Oh yes, they do. I've been privileged to work in city, so I've seen the other side of it. But David, it was when he was very successful as the king. The Bible says the time he ought to go to war, he didn't go to war, and the next season of problem was now personal to his character. And I was saying that part of that, yes, his love is good, but on its own, we have to be willing to mature in our character. Success demands that in fact, in successful times, our character has to be very strong to handle it. Because sometimes we think that success will answer all our problems. Now I don't have to be struggling before. Yeah, you don't struggle as before, but now you have to actually make more effort to have that conviction, not less. You have to make more effort to be willing to die to one's own weaknesses, because that's when it's easier to feed those things now, because the means to do it is there. That is, I heard this a lot. It's access to excess. That's what wealth does. So if the character is not being dealt with, if we're not also managing our character, managing our personality, it can ruin us. So love is good, but ultimately we have to also learn to die to our own desires. And that's another level of character growth that is demanded of us, especially as husbands, because the very respect we're looking for from our wife, we have to first and foremost be able to model it in ourselves and to those around us. Whereas we're just talking nonsense to say respect it's not a one-way street, it's two ways. The respect we want our wife to give us, we must also show them that we are respectful. And that also comes in that when the opportunity to do certain things, because now you have the opportunity, you say no. It's not just for me. I'm committed to this relationship, and it's no longer about what the person can give to me. It's unconditional now. I've come to a place where whether my wife does or doesn't do, I'm committed to this. So there is a level of commitment, there's a level of character growth that requires a certain type of depth as well. So we must also expect that, because God is the one that told the man that he must love his wife to the point of death. And I don't believe that just means that the person will just die in their life. No, as he will have to die to even the things we feel we want. We have to die to those things, because if it's not going to help this marriage to succeed and to be strong and to be healthy, then we're not serious. So even in successful times, we have to be willing to die to a lot of things for the marriage to be strong, because on the long term will be better for it. That's how I want to say that. So love alone, if we're not prepared to also make sacrifices, is not enough. We have to be prepared. We have to be prepared to make sacrifices. And like that, what I say, it's not every day. It's not every day that God's expecting us to sacrifice. It's not every day, but we must be prepared. We must be prepared. It will happen. You must be prepared. You know, I've witnessed certain things in my life that I didn't think, oh, I will have. And then I found out that we have those things, and I found, hey, I'm still me. So we must not just think it's struggle alone. Also in success, be prepared as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Like you said, our mentality, especially those people from Africa, the mentality, the mindset, we're always in the struggle mode, struggle. And then when God answers in a very big way, it's like we don't even know what to do. Imagine somebody praying, oh Father, I want a Ferrari. I want a Ferrari. Hey, pray. And somehow God orchestrated the thing, and then the Ferrari is there. And guess what? They can't even drive it. They don't know how to drive. Because you're praying, is it that you don't think God can answer that prayer, or you don't think somebody can give you what you've been praying for? One would think you're prepared. You would have gone to learn to drive, or and do the needful. And when the Ferrari comes, just take the key and off you go. Imagine now they're looking for a driver that will take you home with your Ferrari. That's how sometimes we are. And marriage entails a lot. You will discover, you will rediscover, you will be angry, you will have to be tolerant, you have to be patient, there's a whole lot apart from love. All of these other components, just like someone said, it's needed for us to grow healthily in that marriage relationship. We can't eat our cake and have it. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the commitment, the loyalty, the trust, everything that is needed. Because if all of these other things is not there, that love will be strangled and it will not be there as well. So make up your mind. How do you want to relate with your spouse in that relationship? Talk about things. Like I said, don't wait till something happen before you're like, hey, what do we do? We start panicking. Sometimes talk about scenarios. And this can kind of help you prepare mentally if eventually it happens. I'm not saying all the time a negative thing. You know what? What's your 10-year plan? 10-year plan, is getting this or doing this. What if God gives you in 2 years? Would you be thrown off balance? Would you know what to do? There's so many aspects to marriage, guys. That's what we're saying. And love alone, based on all the submissions, love alone cannot sustain a marriage. Of course, we agree it's one of the foundational components needed, because it's someone you love, you want to build with, someone you love, you want to trust, someone you love, you want to be tolerant with, someone you love, you want to forgive. All of these things, it matters a lot. As we're rounding off on Insight today, I just want to say thank you for all your contributions. A13, thank you for your moral support as usual. Leslie, thank you. God bless you. I love it when people, their submissions, it's real and we can relate with it. We're not just talking, from context in the reality of it, so to say. We're being practical here. So years ago, God asked me, who will you be if you have 100 million? Hey, sometimes I reflect on these things. I say, imagine, and my own is, how, for me, you're not like God is doing that. How's the fastest way? If somebody even just gives me, or I win, and so I say, okay, if I play lotto, sometimes when you receive all this junk email, they say, the lotto is 194 million or 300 million. I say, hey, would one person win this money? I say, if I play now and my own portion is just 100 million pounds, for me, what would you do? Sometimes I used to say to my husband that, hey, I'm managing with you now. Don't think if you give me 1 million today, I don't know what to spend it on. He will laugh. I say, yes, there's time for everything. A time might come, you have more than excess. What do you do? Is that the time you now start going to do the things that you didn't grow up in character to do? Because now you have arrived, you oppress your spouse. Now you have arrived, you're no longer tolerant, you're no longer trustworthy, you're no longer a person of integrity. It shouldn't be. In fact, that should seal us more in what we have built. My prayer is that we will get understanding, so that we can enjoy our marriage relationship. The question shock me. It shock you. Very funny, Leslie. It's amazing, the unnecessary agony we put ourselves through in a marriage. Just for what? Just for what? You've built with someone for almost 40 years. Now you're wealthy, the money has come, and you now feel they're not up to your standard anymore. Now you feel, you don't want to be seen in the public with them. It breaks my heart. And then you now go and carry someone who knew nothing about your struggles, your sufferings, your cryings, your dilemmas, your challenges, and then you be posing round town with this person. I'm not gender biased, whether man or woman. How should that be? Let's be people that fear God foremost. What you cannot accept, don't give it to your spouse. What you cannot accept, do not give to your spouse. Bottom line, what are you building on that love you have for your spouse? Food for thought. Can love alone sustain your marriage? Can love alone sustain my marriage? Once again, I just want to say thank you so much, everyone. Brian, thank you for your contribution. Adegbenga, thank you. Is a smaller group today, but powerful, yet powerful. Thank you so much for your contribution. I'm grateful. Thank you for all the 18K. Guys, let's take it to 20K before I round off. So I'm gonna wait. Elder Ade, we forfeited our puzzle for today. Don't worry, I'll bring it back next week. Let's just take it up to 20K, guys, before we go today. Love is crucial, but love alone cannot stand by itself. Do we respect our spouses? And these things are reciprocal. It is not one-sided. It is not male biased. It is not female biased. You want to be respected as a wife. You want to be respected as a husband. Just like Leslie said, are we showing that to our spouse? Are we emulating that? Are we displaying respect as well? Because I can't imagine a husband and wife, they go out and just right there in a restaurant or in a public place, you start washing your spouse down just because you're angry at what they did or didn't do. You don't even care. And then you get home and like, oh, my dear, I love you. Hello, there'll be chaos when you get home. And then imagine if it was your spouse, turn things round, If your spouse did that to you, how loving will you still be afterwards? Do unto others as you wish them do unto you. That's the saying that I've heard, and I really appreciate that saying a lot. You don't want to be disrespected, do not disrespect your spouse. You want to have you are committed. You want a spouse that is committed, you to be committed. You want to be trustworthy, be trustworthy. Or you want someone that is trustworthy, you to be trustworthy. You want someone that is loyal. Are you loyal yourself? Elder Debbie, don't mind that she's been passing back and forth. Like let me not even say what I want to say because it is well. Anyway, maybe she's just passing to take offering now. I don't know. This one I can come in now.
Even the fruit of the spirit that we call love is not really love by itself. It actually have other attributes. So even the fruit of the spirit shows other attributes are needed for the fruit of the spirit to work, even though it has love in it. So even the fruit of the spirit shows it as well.
And the truth is, it's hard, but there's some bitter truth we don't want to hear. Do unto others as you wish them do unto you. I don't know, sometimes maybe people take time to reflect. How so far, so good? How have we been faring in this relationship? Is everything okay? Because even if you shy away from talking to your spouse, for how long? For how long do you want to shy away? Because things will crumble at some point. You can only get away with, certain things for so long. At some point, you will see it will be exposed. And then it might just be too much for you to handle. From time to time, do we check in with our spouses? This is where we are at. Are we still on the same page? Are we still on the same level? Our principles, our values in life, is it still the same? Are we in sync? Are we connected spiritually? Or is just sexually alone that we're bothered about, or all of those aspects, everything all together. That's why I say marriage is not for lily-livered people. It entails a lot, giving a lot. Fruit of the Spirit ends with self-control. Do you have self-control in that marriage relationship? Or do you feel as a man you should do this? This one I'm going to say, as a man, this is what you do. For the woman, she dare not do that. Says who? Says who? One rule for the husband and another rule for the wife. That will not build a lasting marriage. Yeah, love is everything. It is everything alongside all of these things we're talking about. Discipline, thank you. If you're not disciplined in that relationship, it will affect that relationship. Whether it's one person or both of you. Disaster, you can weigh what kind of level of disaster you want to come. Self-control is from discipline, yeah. It's not every time your spouse offend you that you must lash out and abuse and curse at her or at him, because in the night you're still going to lay with this person you have just cursed or said whatever to. Self-control. Sometimes when you're angry, the best thing is to walk away. Don't even say anything, because you know yourself what will come out, you're not in control of it. So it's better you hold your peace. Because some people are not that matured, or they're not disciplined enough. As they're thinking it in that rage, they say it out. And rather than build, they're destroying their relationship. So everything is crucial. How we address one another, how we talk to one another, when angry, when not angry, when upset, all of these things matter. I talked about things, to sustain that marriage relationship. Are you the one that your spouse cannot even come to say, guess what, I'm thinking of this thing? Then in fact, you just say, no, it can't work. The next time again, no, it can't work. Do you think they'll come to you the third time? And what does that mean? You're shutting down the communication. You are shutting it down. Because after a while, they will just think, oh, I best do what I have to do. Or, just leave it, because if I don't have the support now, to be so let's make life bearable for our spouses, for ourselves as well. Let's remain committed to one another through all the seasons of life. Whether money comes, whether wealth comes, let it not change that good person you are. I'm going to leave it on that note. Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate everyone. Till I come your way again on Monday, 8 p.m. UK time, where we're going to be talking about individual talks that affect us as individuals, that we don't necessarily maybe find people to chat about with. Come here, let us talk about it on Insight with FunmiRoyal. Come Monday, by the grace of God. And till then, have a lovely weekend. Hey, tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, I'm so happy. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Adegbenga. Thank you, Zion. I know you dropped off. Thank you, A13. Thank you, Elder Debbie. All free now. You'll be fine. Last, you'll be fine. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Don't worry. I hope to see you on Monday. You guys enjoy your weekend. Be good, be nice, be respectful, be loving, be caring, be tolerant, and above all, enjoy life. God bless you. See you later. Thank you, Leslie.
Make you feel alright.
Thank you. Offering. Elder Debbie. Mind yourself. I'll see you on Monday. God bless you.